Michael here is keeping track of time.
Okay.
This means you have 2 minutes left, 1 minute left, and this is the countdown to,
Okay.
to 10, from 10 to 0. Alright?
Alright. Morning class. Today I'm going to discuss the backdoor draft, which is also known as stop loss. As of January of this year, 13,200 troops are currently serving in Iraq and Afghanistan under the stop loss order. Today I'm going to discuss why the government does it, why stop loss is bad, and why it should be abolished. Here are the government's reasons for why they do it. It keeps the Army units at combat strength, it keeps the numbers up so that they have enough people to maintain the force, and it prevents them from having shortages for certain specialties, TMOSs, which is military occupation specialties, which, like, take for example the 13D, 13 Delta, it's Field Artillery Tactical Data System Specialist. That was my MOS. Most of my guys, they get stop loss. I didn't, because luckily I was found medically unfit for duty. The benefits for the government is they don't lose soldiers, they don't lose combat strength, they keep their numbers up, the units are combat ready, and they keep them more experienced troops in the battle. And they don't have to worry about having somebody who's new and fresh who doesn't really know what he's doing. That's why you hear about guys that do 3 or 4 deployments. The cost of stop loss is the destruction of families, the unit cohesion, because people don't want to be there, so they hate being there, and everybody else knows that they hate being there, so it's like having somebody who's mad in a group full of positive people. It doesn't do very good, which also affects the unit morale, and it can compromise mission success, because if you're not positively thinking about it, then you're not going to succeed in the mission. And the 3 guys, all 3 of them died. He was in my unit, he was my best friend, he was in my unit. It's his first deployment. The risks, obviously, death is one of the risks that you can face from being under a stop loss order by being involuntarily extended to go back over to one of the war zones. Currently, the stop loss order right now is about 18-month deployments plus 6 months when you get back. The other risk is injury and mental illness, such as post-traumatic stress disorder and ruined lives. As far as ruined lives go, a friend of mine, he was under a stop loss order. His name was David Rim. He was supposed to get out 2 months before we deployed to Iraq. He filled out paperwork for a compassionate reassignment so that he wouldn't have to go, because he had already set, he was getting ready to go to Rutgers. He had everything set. He had an apartment, down payment, and everything. Well, they didn't listen, they didn't care, and so he got the 6 days of leave like we did, like everybody else did before we left. And well, he didn't come back. He came back late. I called him the day we were leaving. I was like, dude, you need to get here, because if not, you're in trouble. Well, he came back about a week and a half late, and just as a what he is, Rim was second place in the Soldier of the Year competition for the Army. He taught me pretty much everything that I knew about my job and what I was supposed to do. And they took him from being a specialist promotable they stripped him of his rank, they sent him to jail for 6 months, and they sent him to Iraq for the remainder of his time in. In that time frame, his wife left him and cleaned out his bank account. This guy, for example, Brandon Bagley, Sergeant Brandon Bagley, he's holding his Purple Heart right there. That was after his first deployment. He's currently on his 3rd. He was supposed to get out in June. And he's a single father. His daughter now lives with his mom. He's my best friend. And he deployed back to Iraq in October. He won't be back for 15 months. Hopefully he makes it back this time. He almost didn't make it back our first time. In conclusion, I hope that y'all have seen why stop loss is bad, why it should be abolished, and whatnot. The General of the Army right now, General Gates, ABC News reported in March that General Gates stated that there were 13,200 troops currently in Afghanistan and Iraq under the stop-loss order. He also stated that he has a deadline for the stop-loss order to end, which he hopes to have end by 2011. He also has support from former Congressman John McHugh from New York, who also wants it to end as well. The IAVA, Iraqi Afghanistan Veterans Association, which I'm a member of, they have stated that over 50,000 troops have been under the stop-loss order since the beginning of the war in 2002. And they are also in support with John McHugh and General Gates in abolishing the stop-loss order.